Lost in the Debris, found as a battle hero. The movie is set 300 years after the fall in 2563. A doctor is seen searching a pile of garbage where he finds the head and core of a humanoid. He brings it to the lab and starts programming it, giving it a new structure and making it an all-new cyborg. The next morning, the cyborg wakes up and feels positive after having her new body. She checks herself in the mirror and puts on the clothes. Who is this cyborg? Why was she recreated? We are going to discuss about the 2019 sci-fi movie titled Alita, the Battle Angel. It's rated 7.3 on IMDb. She goes downstairs and meets the doctor and her assistant. She's confused with her identity and asks about how she ended there. The doctor doesn't speak much as she didn't have any idea and her core was active when he found her body in the scrapyard. The doctor simply attached the body parts and programmed her. He takes her out and the cyborg is delighted by looking at the city. She then looks up and asks the doctor about the Sky City, to which the doctor replies it's the final Sky City left after the fall, named Salem. She finds the doctor's name to be Ido from the board, and the doctor names her Alita. Alita is impressed with her new name. Dr. Ido explains to Alita about the Iron City as they walk. Alita meets a guy named Hugo, who tries to save her from the government's robot. Hugo appreciates Alita's cyborg body parts. Same night, a girl is murdered, and we get to know that a serial killer kills people and sells their body parts. Alita checks outside the door as Dr. Ido enters the room, and his hand is wounded. Next day, a lady approaches Alita, and she's surprised by the way Alita looks, and Alita walks away without any clue. She is Dr. Ido's wife, Chirin, and she asks about how Alita's body resembled the body of their late daughter. Hugo takes Alita to an arena where all her friends were playing motorball, a famous game in the city. Alita impresses everyone with her natural skills and tackles one of Hugo's friends to score. Hugo then takes Alita to his favorite place, where the whole Iron City as well as Salem were visible. Hugo shares about his dream to move to Salem one day with Alita. When she asks about how Salem looks, he answers that Dr. Ido collected her from the scrapyard, which has the garbage dumped from Salem. So she may well be coming from Salem. But Alita doesn't remember anything from her past. That night, Alita notices Ido going out in the street following a woman. She starts following Ido. She observes that Ido assembles parts from his weapons and gets ready to attack the woman. Alita gets disclosed that Dr. Ido is a hunter-warrior and he kills serial killers. They sell the body parts of these murderers and make a lot of credits. Alita and Ido face 3 cyborg serial killers led by Gruishki. Alita manages to save Ido and kill 2 of the serial killers. Gruishki returns back injured. Ido, surprised by Alita's combat skills, talks about what led him to being a hunter-warrior. They both return home, and Ido talks about his daughter Alita and his wife Chirin. His daughter was bound to a wheelchair, and one day their cyborg unknowingly killed her while he was searching for a drug. His wife left him after the incident. Ido became a hunter-warrior in search of the unfound piece, and one day he found peace in form of Alita. The next scene shows Vector, who owned and regulated the entire motorball tournament. Ido's wife Chirin is seen assisting Vector. Chirin was promised to he, sent to Salem by Vector. After Vector leaves the room, Gruishki breaks through the glass and enters the room and talks about Alita and how she injured him completely. Chirin repairs Gruishki while he talks about Alita to Vector. Vector's mind is possessed by Salem's overlord Nova, and he orders how he wants Alita's core. Hugo takes Alita to the motorball tournament, where several cyborgs were competing. He discloses the champion is sent to Salem. After taking Alita around the stadium, Hugo joins his gang to steal the body parts of the cyborgs participating in the motorball tournament. Next day, Hugo takes Alita to a ruined URM spaceship which landed 300 years back from the fall. Alita goes underwater and enters the spaceship and gets a room where she finds an advanced warrior suit. She takes it to Ido and asks him to transplant, but he disagrees, saying she's the last warrior of her kind, and it's extremely powerful. Disgusted, Alita goes to the factory and registers as a hunter-warrior. She goes to Kansas Bar with Hugo, which had all the city's hunter-warriors. She requests all hunter-warriors to join her to face Gruishki. Zapan tries to intimidate her, but Alita badly beats her up, and the entire situation in the bar turned chaotic as all of them were provoked. Gruishki enters the bar, who was upgraded. He first kills Alita's dog. Alita puts the dog's blood on her face and fights Gruishki. He takes Alita to the underground, where he unloads his upgraded attacks on Alita in his comfort zone. Despite a valiant effort, Gruishki cuts Alita into pieces, leaving only her left hand and midsection. One-handed Alita destroys his eyes, and after that, he's injured by Ido and Hugo. The Dogmaster McTigu sends his cyborg dogs after Gruishki and causes him to retreat. Since Alita's body was completely destroyed, Ido transplants it with the URM technology-equipped body that she got from the ship. Ido says her core could provide electricity for the entire Iron City for months. Alita wakes up Ido next morning and shows him how comfortable she is with her new gift. She goes to Hugo, and he is delighted to see her new body. Hugo tells his desire to go to Salem and the credits required to go there. Hugo meets Vector and shares drinks with him and talks about Alita. Alita enters Hugo's room and initiates a conversation regarding his future in Salem. She offers her heart to Hugo, which would earn him enough credits to go to Salem. But Hugo doesn't take her heart and appreciates her kindness. He asks Alita to keep her heart safely. Hugo asks Alita to participate in the motorball tournament, win the final, and get the credit prize, which would be helpful for both of them to go to Salem. On the day of the trials for the motorball tournament, Vector gathers many hunter warriors and asks them to join the tournament to kill Alita for a hefty amount of 5 million. Dr. Ido equips Alita for the tournament trials with body armors, protective, and wheels. Hugo hasn't made it to the stadium yet, as he has gone to his gang to inform them that he's leaving the business while they were stealing the body parts of a cyborg. Zapan enters and kills the paralyzed cyborg, putting the blame on Hugo. After the start of the motorball game, all the participants go after Alita straight away. Ido awares Alita about the hunter warriors. Alita starts eliminating them one by one. She receives a call from Hugo, who's injured, asking for help. She then leaves the game and goes to rescue Hugo. She saves Hugo, but then watches the screen where it's declared that Hugo is a murderer. Zapan stabs Hugo with his sword. Alita holds Hugo and takes him to a safer place. While Hugo is about to die in Alita's arms, Chiron comes in and shows Alita a way. Chiron hangs up the call with Vector. Alita holds Hugo's head and shows everyone. When Zapan tries to snatch, she cuts his face. Hugo is created as a cyborg by Ido. Ido explains Alita that no one can go to Salem through money, and Vector screws up everyone this way. Only the people can go who are born in Salem. As Hugo said, the winner of the motorball tournament gets to go to Salem. He discloses that he and his wife were born in Salem. Alita sets out on total destruction in Vector's factory. She destroys all the security and then goes to Vector's office directly. Gruishka appears suddenly and injures Alita. But Alita gets vision from her past, showing she was a part of the war. She realizes her ultimate enemy is Nova. She heals herself and takes on Gruishki, takes down his weapons one after the other, and cuts him into pieces. Nova controls Vector's mind and calls her out. Alita kills Vector. She then follows Hugo, who was climbing all the way to Salem, and tries to stop him. He promises Hugo they're going to live together in Iron City. Nova, watching it from above, initiates a weapon which completely shatters Hugo. Alita tries to hold on to Hugo's hand, but in the end, it snaps and Hugo dies. Alita is broken. Alita raises her sword and sets her eyes on Hugo in Salem.